Welcome back to the Bible channel, continuing our hands-on review of early English Bible facsimiles. Continuing from where we left off, last video we reviewed this Tyndale New Testament, 1526. There was another Bible that came out in 1535, sandwiched between these two, that I don't yet have. But when I get it, there'll be a review about it. And that's the Coverdale Bible. The Coverdale Bible in 1535 would be right between these two. And the Coverdale Bible, see, the Tyndale New Testament was printed in Germany and had to be smuggled into England illegally. And then the Coverdale Bible, I believe it was printed, it was either in Switzerland or Sweden, and then it had to be smuggled into England. So I draw attention to that to point out that's the significance of the Bible we are reviewing today, the Matthew's Bible of 1537. This is a rather large volume, but the Matthew's Bible is very significant because this is the first English Bible to be printed in England. Alright, so let's read the back of this and then give you more history behind it. Excuse me. Combining the translation of William Tyndale and Miles Coverdale, edited by John Rogers. But it's called the Matthew's Bible because John Rogers went by the stage name or the pseudonym of Thomas Matthews, just so he wouldn't end up becoming a martyr, but he eventually did. When Bloody Mary took over rule of England, he was the first one to be burned. So that's the Matthew's Bible 1537 edition. Oh, these old Bibles are awesome. Alright. Well, here, I'll use the finger just so you can follow better than me too. The Matthew's Bible brings together the work of two giants of 16th century English Bible translation. William Tyndale and Miles Coverdale shared a vision of making the scriptures available to ordinary believers, concerned that their authority might be undetermined in a time when kings and clerics alike opposed translating them into English because they would lose their control. And then the scriptures made Rome's heresies plain. That's why they weren't big on reading the Bible, and still aren't to this day. Unless it's one of their genetically modified Bibles, then they don't mind you eating that. William Tyndale's New Testament, 1526, was the first English translation made from the original language, and it made the most of the emerging English tongue. Knowing neither Hebrew nor Greek, Miles Coverdale consulted Latin, English, and Pears? Or German, I jumped a line. I'm reading this through a camera, too. German sources to guide his work. The vocabulary of Tyndale and John Wycliffe and others appear in the Coverdale Bible, 1535, which was the first complete English Bible. So I like how the back of this gives you a little history on the Coverdale Bible too that preceded this one. John Rogers combined Tyndale and Coverdale's text, supplying some translation work of his own, to create the Matthew's Bible. It was attributed to a fictitious Thomas Matthew, concealing the inclusion of Tyndale's text, so King Henry VIII would license the volume's publication. So now it became the Matthew's Bible that bishops were encouraged to order copies for their parishes. Shouldn't call your people parish because that's what they'll become. Alright. Facsimile of one of the finest existing copies of the Matthew's Bible Features clear, legible type and faithful reproduced color pages. And then there's an introduction by this guy. So that's a little what the back of the thing says. Alright, let's open this beautiful Bible up. Alright, so we got the Matthew's Bible. 1537. And again, this is early English, so the spelling is different. Not much different, though, than Tyndale, because this was, what, 2 years after Tyndale did his first edition? So you got the Bible with the Y, things with the Y. The counterpart here is the modern spelling. But I like how it preserved all of the old English, just so you see what English was like back then. Just to give you an example of the spelling style. Alright, so now let's actually get to where they photocopied original things. Oh, there's also a ribbon in there. I like when Bibles have bookmarks already in them. So here you can see this is a calendar. Let's get to the point where it becomes, here it is. So this was the opening page for the 1537 Matthew's Bible. They always had a lot of fancy artwork back then. It says the Bible, which is all the Holy Scripture, in which are contained the Old and New Testament, truly and purely translated into English by Thomas Matthew. And again, the Roman numerals 1537. Let's continue down here so you can just see the fine detail in all the artwork. And what I like about this Matthew's Bible, there's a lot of artwork right in it. Like I went through the book of Revelation the other night and there were pictures for every chapter. I enjoy looking at the old artwork and what the old Christians believed. This is a calendar, spelled a little bit different than how we spell it today. And then all the pages too are in Roman numerals, so I'm very thankful these tabs are in there. Just flipping through, just so you see. And it's color because it has red text. Unfortunately, the words of Christ aren't in red in this edition. And it takes a bit of getting used to reading Old English if you're not used to reading that and dealing with backwards, or the F's that are S's and all that. Once you adjust it, it's enjoyable. But what I like about reading this Old English is at times I got to stop and it forces me to read the verse itself slower, so that gives the Lord more time to tell me things that I would always speed reading over. So I think too that's why I like these old Bibles, for that reason alone. Got a lot of intro. Here, let's just jump right to Genesis. Alright, so look at that. Got full page art. Looks like Adam and Eve down here. Where's that damn devil? No, there's the sun. Yeah, that's cool. There's a lot of artwork here. Let's read a little bit of Genesis 1, just so you get the hang of how the Matthew's Bible. Alright, it says the first book of Moses called Genesis. And this part in the old Bibles, they give like a highlight. Verse this is what this happened, this happens. It actually starts right here. It says, here I'll use the finger too. In the beginning God created heaven and earth. The earth was void and empty, and darkness was upon the deep. And the Spirit of God, what in the hell? moved, yeah, okay, moved, because the rest of it's here, upon the water. Then God said, because that's a S, remember, let there be light, there was light. And God saw the light that it was good, and divided the light from the darkness. So that's an example of, again, Old English from the Matthew's Bible. So let's turn to what I went through the other night, the book of Revelation. Because like I said, what I like about this is all the old artwork, all the detail they'd put into these Bibles. So a little bit of different spelling, again, than how we know it today. So then you got that old art here, and then you got this one. See, that's Jesus Christ. That's a sword coming out of his mouth. I kind of think his head looks like a cat, but maybe I'm just seeing things. Then he's standing in the middle of 7 candlesticks. They didn't know it was a 7-candle menorah. They've got separate candles, because that's how it was translated. Alright, continuing. Oh, and then another thing with the Matthew's Bible, the Coverdale Bible before it, and the Tyndale Bible, is that there were chapter divisions, but there were not verse divisions. So where Matthew added a new thing here, I think it began with the Matthews. Could have started in the Coverdale, I don't know, I don't got that, but if you notice, all right, we're in Revelation. See, right here is the 2nd chapter, and then it has section A, B, C, D, etc. right here, E, F, all through the chapter. So then you'd say Revelation chapter 2, section C, that's where it is. Because they didn't have verses back then. The first English Bible with chapter and verse divisions was the 1560 Geneva Bible. Alright, so here's some more art. And I'll just show you the book of Revelation alone has a whole lot of old art. Almost one for every chapter. Even certain chapters have more art. Just going real slow so you can appreciate all the detail in it. See what I mean about all the old art? That one's good. We can get both of them real close. Alright, there's more. See, I wasn't joking about all the art, huh? I don't know if every book is like this, but Revelation is, yeah, because you can see that I'm showing it to you. Continuing, what chapter are we in? Chapter, it looks like 12. There you go, more art. New pages, so they're sticking together. That's a good feeling. Peeling the plastic off a new Bible. Nothing like it. Looks like the trumpets are starting to be blown there. Or no, that's the... Yeah, very interesting. So like I say, see here you go, there's art, and then that's the end. The end of the New Testament. So again, this is the Matthew's Bible, the 1537 edition. That again was the first English Bible to be printed in England. So I hope you're enjoying these early English Bible review videos. I like them because I get to review a book and teach you the history behind it, because you appreciate things more when you know the history behind it. And like the English language, look how far it's come and how much the Bible itself has helped. So stay tuned, because for the next hands-on video, we will be reviewing the first English Bible that came from the original Hebrew, Greek, Aramaic, and the first English Bible to use chapter and verse divisions, that being the 1560 Geneva. There were other Bibles, again, sandwiched between this Matthew's Bible and the Geneva. I'll just mention them here. There was the Taverner Bible of 1539. There was the Great Bible of 1539 as well. That was Miles Coverdale redoing his 1535. And then here came the next Bible we're reviewing. So that's the review of the Matthew's Bible 1537 edition. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share the knowledge you learn with others. In good ground. Don't be a terrible steward of the mysteries of God, because then God will cease giving them to you. Give it in good ground. So I believe this audience has good ground. They appreciate the Word of God, and they appreciate the history behind it.